Hello and welcome to our channel. My name is Yoko from AER Next in Japan. I'll be your host. At AER Next, we help foreigners find homes, explore visa options, start businesses, and build their lives in Japan. In this podcast, I'll share practical information and real stories about living in Japan. We'll talk about housing, visas, business opportunities, and the realities of moving to Japan. We'll also invite people who have moved to Japan as well as professionals who can share useful insights and experiences in future episodes. Today, in this very first episode, I'd like to tell you why I started this podcast. Throughout my career, I've met many people from around the world. Some of their stories changed the way of my thinking. Let me share one of them. I once met a couple from Spain. They owned and operated an accommodation business in their hometown. They worked hard during spring, summer, and autumn. Then, every winter, they came to Japan. They stayed in a ski resort area, enjoyed skiing, hot springs, and Japanese food, and spent a couple of months there. They had been doing this lifestyle for more than 3 years. Eventually, they decided to buy a house in Japan. It was an old house, and they did some renovation work on their own. Every winter, they invited family and friends to stay with them. They could ski whenever they wanted. They could enjoy Japan at their own pace. I still remember something they told me. They said, "We work hard all year so we can enjoy our winter in Japan." Their lifestyle impressed me a lot. They were not just taking a vacation. They had built a lifestyle in Spain and Japan both. And they satisfied with their lifestyle. That experience stayed with me. Today, we receive many inquiries from people looking for a holiday home in Japan. Many of them visit Japan every year. Some visited several times a year. They love Japan and want a place they can return to whenever they like. For many people, Japan is more than a travel destination. It becomes part of one of their lifestyle. Now, let me share another story. This one is about my close friend from the United States. She came to Japan as an English teacher and worked at a public school for several years in Niigata Prefecture. Later, she got a new job and decided to move to Tokyo. She had a work visa, she had enough savings. On paper, she was a very strong applicant. But finding a rental home took much longer than she expected. One of the reasons was that the number of foreigner-friendly rental properties is still limited. Even when a listing says foreigner welcome or foreigner accepted, there can still be additional requirements. Some landlords prefer tenants who can speak fluent Japanese. Others want tenants who can read and understand the Japanese contract. Fortunately, my friend spoke Japanese fluently and had passed the JLPT M2 exam. Because of that, she was eventually able to secure a place. But the process took time. Later, she told me, "I never imagined that finding a rental apartment in Japan could be so stressful." When she worked as an English teacher, her employer arranged her housing. So this was the first time she had searched for a home by herself in Japan. From my perspective as a relocation consultant, finding a rental home is often one of the most difficult parts of moving to Japan. It sometimes takes time. It can be difficult to understand the local market, and it can be hard to know which information is accurate. Many landlords and property managers worry about communication issues. For example, Japan has detailed rules about garbage disposal, building management, and neighborhood manners. If communication between the foreign resident and the neighbors become difficult, the landlords or property managers worry about problems may occur. Of course, not every landlord feels this way, but these concerns still exist in some parts of the market. To be honest, from a visa consultant perspective, buying a house is often easier than finding a rental home for foreigners in Japan. When people think about moving to Japan, they usually focus on visas or they focus on finding a job. But housing can be just as important. And sometimes it becomes the biggest challenge. That is one reason I decided to start this podcast. In this channel, we will talk about moving to Japan from many different angles. We'll discuss visas, housing, property purchases, Japanese rules, and real life experiences. My goal is to share honest information based on the people I've met and the work I do every day. I hope this podcast helps you better understand what life in Japan is really like. Whether you are thinking about buying a holiday home, relocating with your family, starting a business, or simply exploring the possibility of living here someday. I hope you'll find something useful here. Moving to Japan is not just about finding a house. It's not just about getting a visa. It's about building a life. Thank you very much for listening to our very first episode. In future episode, we will talk about more about living in Japan. If you are interested in these topics, please feel free to contact us. I hope you'll join me again. Thank you for listening. See you next time.